right. Hello. Welcome on into All Things Odd. I'm Dr. Natalie Phillips.
And I'm Dr. Hannah Galloway.
And we have a new face to introduce you to today, but we're not going to get there yet. We're going to keep it a surprise, and we're going to talk about a couple of things first. So I'll have Dr. Galloway take it away.
Yep. So this is our YouTube channel. If you search our business name, you can find us and you can subscribe, and then you can get notifications about new episodes. If we are traveling, sometimes we skip a week. And so this would be something you could do to catch up or watch some old episodes. I see we have 75 subscribers. So that means that since the last time I made an announcement, we have more subscribers, which is exciting. We always think it's funny when we're, going live and then we have like a little comment pop up or somebody says, I watch every week. Or last time we had some really sweet goodbyes to Whitney, and we appreciate that so much because that made her feel so good. And it was nice to know that people are kind of watching us regularly. So if you go to YouTube, search our business name, you can subscribe, and then that way you'll have notifications when we have a new episode. And this is kind of also an easier way to look at the topics too. So,
all right, and then let's talk about. Can you see that?
No, I still see the YouTube.
What now?
Nope, now it's just us.
Okay, hold on. Let me pull this up.
So Natalie is pulling up a web page. There is a local Fort Collins, like best of the best, one of those things where people nominate businesses. And we are trying to get nominated. So she has the website pulled up here. You can nominate us for the official Community Choice Awards. And then the way that it's done is they collect nominations for about a month. So until the 26th, so there's only 4 more days, you can nominate all your favorite businesses. And then is it July that they announce who's been nominated? So you can see here in the list of hearing aid specialist centers, I think previous winners have been Costco. There's you can see the little list there. I think it's the top 3 that go on to kind of the next round. So this is the first year we're trying to get ourselves included in something like this. But if you have time and interest, we would love if you could go to this webpage that we'll link and nominate us for best of the best, because we want to get our name on the list.
So, all right. So with that, we are going to share who we have coming up here. So as you know, every year we have a new 4th-year resident, and it's kind of strange because we find our resident, like, what's the month that we do it in? Like
in August. So, or like September, August. You nail it all down in like September, and then you don't see them or talk to them until like May, and then they start. And so it's funny because you go through this whole process of interviewing and trying to figure out, who's going to be the best for your practice. And then you're like, okay, cool. See you in 9 months.
Yeah. So it's kind of strange, but we now have a new 4th year. So we're going to bring her in, drum roll, and welcome to Rebecca Crowder. So we want everybody to start to get to know her face. I was putting some things out on getting our like graphics done and everything. And I was like, well, your face is going to go out now. Here it goes. And we have some fun things planned. So look out for some fun reels. She's game for some things. And you just never know whether or not like a new person that comes to our office is going to be game to doing all the wild and crazy things that we do. And we don't really do that many things that are wild and crazy.
But we did.
Yeah.
Rebecca, we did have a situation where we had a student, and it was not a 4th year, so it was just a short medical internship. And she was on the show, and we were, joking with her or whatever. And then she got a text from her preceptor that was like, do you feel okay? Are you supported? Like, we were joking with her, but then we're like, okay, maybe it's not funny. If somebody doesn't want to be a part of it, they don't have to be a part of it.
Right. I think we were joking like, okay, well, if you come here, you're going to have to be on the show. We're like, not really. It was a joke online. And then her professor was like, are you okay? Are they making you do things that you don't want to do? No, we're so not.
So that was kind of silly, but some people will willingly say, I don't want my picture taken. I don't like to get up in front of a group or whatever. So, sometimes we do some silly things on camera, but it's.
And we want to say hi to Whitney. She joined our show today. She's watching. She says, go Rebecca. So, hey, Whitney.
Whitney, we miss you. Hi, Lyndon.
All right. So with that, we're going to just kind of sit and chat today and kind of learn about Rebecca or introduce you to her. And then also, like if you have questions, like this is why we do a live show. So if you have a question about maybe even for Rebecca about being a student or whatever it is, her process going through school and getting to this 4th year residency too, like pop on and ask questions because we can answer them for you right away. So to start with, though, I'm going to kind of show this little box that we usually have out in our front desk. And we do have for people who want to learn about both Dr. Galloway, myself, or now Rebecca, we had to take Whitney's out. But this was a great opportunity and something that one of our friends, Dr. Amit Gozalia out at West Valley Hearing Center out in California, he had recommended this. And so I was like, that's a really cool idea. And so we have these like little sheets of paper that you can kind of come in and learn a little bit more. And so we just finished Rebecca's and put it out there. So if you walk into our office, you have some fun facts, some interesting things that we're going to get to. So I won't read off of this, but if you want to come in and learn a little bit more about her, we do have this here for you to take. You can read it and put it back if you want to, whatever you want to do. But we have this up at the front desk so that you can learn a little bit more about us. But with that, we will finally let her speak. And we want to introduce you to her. But Rebecca, welcome to Audiology Center of Northern Colorado. And then welcome to the show. This is her first week. So she is game to jump on with us. Why don't you share a little bit more about yourself? Let's start with maybe where you came from and how did you choose audiology?
Yeah, well, I guess I can't say I'm a Southern California native anymore because I've been here and I'm actually a Colorado resident now. But I was born and raised in Southern California, Anaheim. So go Disney if you've got any Disney fans. And then I started my education at Cal State University, Fullerton. So go Titans. And I started doing music there, actually. I'll try to keep my story as short as possible, but I started as a music major. And I kind of realized that I prefer to keep music for me rather than do it when performative or do it as a career. So I was kind of searching around for what was next. And I had a friend who was finishing his speech pathology degree. And he said, hey, you should check this out. And I said, all right, I'm open. And I found a lot of similarities between communication sciences disorders and vocal pedagogy or voice teaching, which I was really interested in. And so it seemed like a natural transition. And I was working towards that. And then towards the end of it, I was kind of like, I don't know if I want to do speech specifically. And lo and behold, at the same time, I ended up taking an audiology course because they have the same bachelor's. And I fell in love with the science behind it. I fell in love with the material and the coursework. And it just seemed to come a little bit easier to me than a lot of the speech background did. And so I spoke with a couple of professors that were the audiologists there, and they kind of encouraged me to go for it. And I thought, man, I'm going to take another year, but let's try it. And so I applied to some graduate programs, and the University of Northern Colorado got back to me and said, hey, come on out here and we'll teach you how to be an audiologist. So I said, I'll go. So I moved about 1,000 miles, almost 3.5 years ago now. And I started my adventure out here in Colorado, and I haven't regretted one moment. So I've loved it.
Awesome. I find it interesting that a lot of audiologists that I know are either into performing or music is a part of their life. Mm-hmm. And I laugh because, we will have some fun things coming up. I know that Whitney and I did a reel of us dancing. Hannah was a dancer as well. I believe that some of my friends out in California, they did a lot of performing. And then my colleague in Seattle also was into comedy and performing and singing. And so she was amazing too. So it's kind of interesting how a lot of us are very interested in that part or have that part in our lives. I don't know if that makes any difference as an audiologist or not, but I just find it interesting that a lot of people that I know in our profession and industry are into the performing arts, music as well. And it's important to them. So it's kind of cool. Yeah. All right. Well, so what's your favorite thing in audiology? Let's go there. Like, what is something that you are excited about or have a passion for in audiology?
I think over just my coursework and the experience that I have had, I really enjoy diagnostics. I love kind of getting to the root of, what's going on with the hearing system if there's an issue. And I do have a passion for hearing aids, believe it or not. I find them pretty extraordinary. So I enjoy kind of learning about the latest and greatest. And my doctoral scholarly project was on music and hearing aids. So I wanted to incorporate both of the worlds, and I wanted to see what can these devices do for either performers or just music appreciators. Because once you have hearing loss, enjoying music can become difficult. So I'm really curious what the hearing science, what we can do for people so they can still experience and enjoy music. So I think those are my two heavy passions. I got a beautiful introduction to cochlear implants at the University of Northern Colorado. And so I definitely want to spend more time in exploring that population and being able to restore hearing to people that are, where traditional amplification doesn't work for them anymore. So that's another avenue too. But I am just a lifetime learner. So I like to dive into anything new too. So there's nothing I won't at least dip my toe in. But I think as of right now, diagnostics and amplification, either traditional or non-traditional, has been a passion.
Is there a reason why you thought that like our office would be a great fit? I mean, obviously we're local, which we like to take some local audiologists, and audiologists in training and everything. But what was something that you're excited about being here with Audiology Center?
Well, I think many of the same desires that I had is something that your clinic provides quite beautifully. You definitely have thorough diagnostics. Obviously, amplification is just a part of most practices, but then you guys also take a step further with doing advanced diagnostics in terms of APD testing. You have balance and vestibular testing, and then the cochlear implants was a huge draw with Dr. Galloway. I was very excited about that. And so I appreciated those things. And then honestly, the website was a really good resource for me to kind of get an understanding of what you guys did. So I kind of used that to be like, that definitely put you in my forefront of, wow, they're doing things that I want to be doing. And there's always the beautiful aspect of working with very intelligent and smart women who are running their business. And so I thought there's going to be a level of professionalism that I would really like to develop in myself as well going forward in my career. And I thought as individuals, this would be a great place to hone into some of the things that you guys have been doing and have been successful with.
That's awesome.
Well, and I think it's awesome to be able to, you go to school for so long and then you have this whole scope of practice that you are going to be licensed and able to do, but sometimes you don't get to practice any of it. I was so interested in cochlear implants and I just thought I go to a cochlear implant center where that's all they do, or kind of no one works with them. And so I was like, why can't we do it all? Which I think, makes you feel like the most competent professional to be able to offer all the things and, be able to kind of do everything that you were trained to do. So we like doing that, and you can still do it within a small business as long as you have all the right tools.
Yeah, absolutely. Okay, so let's kind of dive into some fun facts about you so people can kind of learn about who you are. So what are some fun facts that people may not know about you?
Let's see. It's like hard to pick out. So I have been an avid soccer player since I was 7. I've taken a few years off here and there, but I generally try to play as much as I can. I have 2 older brothers, so as soon as I could play co-ed soccer with them, I definitely wanted to do that. So that's always been a part of my life, for better or for worse. It tries to keep me fit, but it also can injure me at this point. So I have to be careful with that. And it's actually been a fun way. I connected with another gal in the cohort ahead of me. She invited me to come and play on their soccer team. And so it's another way for me to have a social outlet and connect. So that's a lot of fun. But I'm pretty game for most physical activities. I definitely would describe myself as an athlete, and I like to get out and do something active and fun. And then let's see. The fun one for any pet owners, I have a pit mix. Her name is Scout. She'll be 3 this year. And then she has a couple brothers that are cats. So we've got a full house, full fur house. And that just, they make you wake up in the morning and keep you busy and active as well. Other fun facts, I have to preface it this way. I'm an early movie buff. So if we want to talk about like 90s, 2000s movies or earlier, I gotcha. People may not remember, but we can play 6 Degrees of Separation with Kevin Bacon all day long. We can have fun with that. Or, random movie quotes are always good. Couple other things. Sorry.
Sheet here.
Oh, yeah, the sheet is
okay. Talk to us about the Greeley Corral.
Yes. So when I moved out here, I finished a job back in California. I was singing at just a Methodist church with friends, and it was wonderful. And I wanted to keep music in my life. And so, funny enough, at one of the offices that I work at out here, I got connected to the Greeley Corral through the doctor and the patient that I was working with. And I joined them about 3 seasons ago. And it's a community choir, and it has all different levels of musicians. And we do all sorts of different types of music, from small works to big works. During Christmas time, we have big traditional productions that we put on. And so if you're around the Greeley area, the Greeley Corral is pretty familiar for most community residents. But it's really just a great time to get together and sing and make music with people. And so it's another social outlet for me. And it's always kind of fun because I can spot the hearing aid wearers in the group too. And so I look forward to kind of connecting with them more and learning about their experience with their devices and singing in a chorale like that. But I'm a soprano, if you can't tell from my voice. And so I have a lot of fun just learning new music and singing a couple concerts every year.
Nice. Okay. And then there's one other thing we wanted to talk about was kind of what you did with massage therapy as well.
Yeah. So for the last 10 years, I've been a certified massage therapist, and I've been doing that. It's kind of funny because it's hard work, definitely. But I think for me, the most rewarding aspect of that job is working with people consistently. And you just get to, your clients become part of your life, and it's a nice exchange, and you get to share your life with these people for many years at a time. And then I think that was really one of my favorite things about kind of coming over to audiology is that, just like massage therapy, I get to work one-on-one with people generally. And then, as you guys have had, we just had someone that I think, Hannah, you mentioned you've been seeing for 10 years as a hearing aid wearer. And I think for me, that is probably one of the biggest rewards of this field, especially with a smaller practice, because you get to keep, your people, they love you and they want to keep coming to see you and be a part of the community with you. And I think it goes back to another thing of why I love this practice so much, is because you guys really are a part of the community and you want to invest in the people around you. And so that just kind of hits home with my heart as a therapist. I just feel like I'm serving in a different way, same idea, but in a different capacity here. But if you want to know more, we could, I can certainly go through deep tissue techniques and things like that. But I think even though it sounds funny transitioning from massage to audiology, for me, it makes sense.
Well, and whenever we were looking at, applications and interviewing people, that stuck out to me because it's, being able to greet somebody, take them down the hallway, make them feel comfortable, whether you know anything or not about hearing aids or whatever, just being a people person. And we had a few different interviews. And I remember after one of them, I was like, I just don't think that, we could send that person down the hall with any patient in the waiting room without it being awkward. Like, you have to be a people person and have a warm smile. And if you can remember details about people and, get to ask them about, oh, did you go on that trip you told me about or whatever. It is nice. And it's nice to see how, we can help them over time, how their life changes over time, but then also how we can, continue to kind of like meet the need with their hearing. We had a patient this morning that was kind of never wore hearing aids before when I first met him, now won't go anywhere without them. So it's like very much that transition to this is not really a big deal in my life to this is really important, something that is my outlet to the world. So it's cool to kind of see that change too.
Yeah. And I think it's going to be interesting now that we know, or everyone knows a little bit more about you too. Maybe we might have some different shows based on even how you can use some of your massage therapy with some of our patients, right? Like we've got tinnitus patients as well. Yeah. There's a lot of discussion that we could have surrounding that. Or music even, right? Your love for music and how it's related to some of the things that we're working on with our patients. So now that people know about who you are, send in, like we say all the time, just send in different topics that you might want us to cover or talk about or even research. A lot of the times we do have to do some research before our shows based on whatever topic we have. So that way we can kind of talk about it and kind of have the discussion with people and then also give information that we're finding out that we think is kind of interesting, pass it along. So that's what we do. So anything else?
I don't think so. Whenever we were kind of prepping Rebecca for this and we were talking, I figured out that 10 years ago, I was in Rebecca's chair and Dr. Phillips was my supervisor. So that was in 2015 and that's 2025. So I don't know, there's something kind of serendipitous about it. I'm like, oh, it's 10 years. Like it just seems, it's like the world gets smaller and smaller all the time, but to know that, you come in and you serve patients every day and then you look back and go, oh, wow, it's been 10 years. That's crazy. It's like how I used to hear Dr. Phillips say she'd been an audiologist for 19 years, but I heard her say the same thing for like 10 years.
Yep, exactly. Yeah. Now it's like 28 or 29 years and going on 29 years, which just sounds crazy. Yeah.
I'll probably stick with this 10-year mark for a long time because it's like, it's monumental. It's like, oh, it's been about 10 years.
Yeah, that's awesome. All right. Well, we are so excited to always have some great people to introduce you to and also be part of our office and provide care to our patients. And so with that, we will see you. We'll try to get on board every week back through the summer. We'll see kind of how it goes, but we will be back next week with a whole new episode. So thanks for tuning in. We'll see you then.
Thank you.